Big LEZ'S League, an all rugby league experience.
Hello, welcome back to Big LEZ'S League and all rugby league experience. Make sure to go ahead and tap down below to subscribe. You might be getting a little bit more of this in the future. We are just experimenting a little bit with the studio. Ignore all the shit next to me and the wall behind me. All that's going to change. You'll get the Big LEZ'S League light behind me again at some stage as well. So a bunch of different things to come. I won't give too much more away, but there'll be a little bit of a new studio setup coming your way. But let's get stuck into some news going around the league. I was sort of looking for an excuse to make a YouTube video as well. And I thought that just getting through some of the news around the league would be the best way to do it. So we'll start off with Ed Kosi. He obviously signs with the South Sydney Rabbitohs for a 2-year deal for 2026 and 2027. I like it. I think it's good. I think that you're getting a player that has a pretty good ceiling. I think that Ed Kosi can play a lot better than what we've seen in the past. I think that he's been super unlucky in the past as well, just with his form and errors and things like that. Pretty similar to Rob Derby. I think Rob Derby has a super high ceiling as well, but has just been super unlucky due to his form and the amount of errors and stuff like that. And, you know, that's going to come with a lot of rookies that come from Queensland Cup, New South Wales Cup into first grade. It is a big transition. And these guys are going to take time before they get to that elite quality. And I think that Ed Kosi, Rob Derby, these sort of guys, they can get to that elite quality. It's just about giving them time to get used to the NRL and the pace and everything like that. Just getting them used to the game, used to that transition. And then by the time that they've, 50 games in or more, they'll have a ton of experience, and I'm sure that they would be making a lot less errors at that stage. So I like the Edward Kosi signing, I think it's a good one, and I think that South Sydney just getting another very talented guy that has NRL experience, where if we have injuries, we can just bring him straight in. We've debuted a lot of young talent, which has been great this season, South Sydney, but I think having a guy with NRL experience in the back line that we can bring in if there's injuries is going to be paramount as well. I don't think he's going to be a part of the starting side. You've obviously got Jack White and Campbell Graham, Tyrone Munro and Alex Johnston that will probably be in that starting back line. Trell obviously at fullback. There isn't really a spot for him there, so he'll be spending most of his time in New South Wales Cup, but I do think it's a really nice little pickup. The next thing I want to talk about is the Panthers trainer. I know that there was a little bit of controversy around that. It sounds like he's been fined up to $50,000. Now, I'm not sure if that's just $50,000 from the NRL and then the $10,000 from the club, or if it's a total of $50,000, including $40,000 from the NRL. I'm not sure the makeup of it, but, I think it is a worthy-ish punishment. I mean, he ran in front of a kicker. It's not allowed. We shouldn't, have allowed that. There should have been a penalty, or Jaden Campbell should have got some form of penalty or something like that with that situation. The trainer definitely should have been punished as he has. 5-game ban plus a $50,000 fine. Is that a little bit too harsh for what happened? Maybe. But I think he certainly did deserve a form of punishment. And I think that it does send a message to the rest of the league that that's not allowed. And I'm sure that that's obviously, a key thing that a lot of other clubs are aware of, that you shouldn't be doing this. It's resi stuff. It's club footy stuff. It's not NRL stuff that we should be seeing in the game today. And I'm sure that the trainer's aware of that. I'm not sure if it was intentional or unintentional. It seemed a little bit intentional just with the way he was grinning as he was running off. But look, it does send a message to the rest of the league. I think that, we're not going to see too much of this happen again. I think we're going to see this wiped out going into the future, which is really good. Definitely don't want this sort of thing happening again. Especially with, when Jaden Campbell goes to take the kick now, he's got that in the back of his mind, misses the kick. It is a factor. While it might be a petty factor, it is a factor. So I think that there was definitely a punishment that needed to occur, and it has. Is that too harsh of a punishment? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll obviously discuss it a bit further. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about here is the Tigers thing, the celebration, the nod, obviously done at the Tigers game after Samuel Afanu scored his try. I will say, if, the whole JC thing hadn't come about and he hadn't grown up in popularity and people hadn't been getting around that sort of content, I don't think that this happens. I don't think that, I think if this does happen, I think that it's a lot more of a stress than it is currently. I think that, they're just seeing someone on the media like JC. That's, this is pretty much his brand. He's selling merch off this hand gesture and, this sort of thing. So I think that I think people are blowing it out of proportion a little bit. I don't think that it deserves too much airtime. I think it's just guys copying a little bit of what they've seen online. And yeah, I actually don't really think it needs too much airtime more than that. I think it's just the boys, Samuel Alfani, the Tigers guys, copying what they've seen online. Sure, a little bit would have been a bit of a slap in the face to the Bulldogs fans, doing it at the Bulldogs game, time and a place sort of thing. Maybe there could have been, maybe it shouldn't have happened. Maybe the boys shouldn't have done it in that sort of space around the Bulldogs supporters. I think that probably could have been avoided, but as I said, I think that it's just the boys copying what they've seen in the media with JC. As I said, he's increased drastically in following over the past few months. He's at 10K followers or something at the moment, which is crazy growth. Congratulations to him. He's doing great things. And it's funny content. But, yeah, maybe there is a bit of a time and a place thing there doing it in front of the Bulldog supporters. But I do think that it has been blown out of proportion. As I said, if JC didn't exist and this had happened, I think it'd be much more of a stress than what it actually is, because, they're being influenced by someone in the media whose whole brand is around this sort of thing. So I think that it is being blown out of proportion a little bit. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think it was offensive? Do you think that there should be sanctions for this sort of thing in regards to try celebrations? And obviously there's a lot more of a different meaning behind that gesture that I'm not 100% aware of, I'll be honest. But let us know what your thoughts are. I think it has been blown out of proportion a little bit. But that's me with no idea as to the actual meaning of the hand gesture and the meaning behind it and what it might have meant to the Bulldogs fans as well, that the Tigers boys were doing it too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do think it's been blown out of proportion a little bit, but I'd love to hear your take on it. That's some NRL news, guys. Make sure to go ahead, click below, subscribe, join the conversation in the comments, and follow our Instagram, @BigLez'S League_. We'll see you guys in the next one.